Yeah, I'm really here for that energy. Just kind of putting focus on one thing in particular, because it kind of has to start somewhere if you're FlyQuest. You know, just going off the fact that map number 1 really was in survival mode from the get-go. So FlyQuest will be on the opening defense. The curiosity kind of surrounding the KO and also kind of the other front, like the chamber, is going to be interesting because you figure they're probably going to be playing on opposite sides of this map pretty much the entire way through. But it's going to be a trademark down for now at A. Everything else will be focused on an initial chill at B.
3 suppressed.
And hey, to talk about value right there, Ash. Going to get 3 information hits over towards the A site pretty quickly. And we'll see what happens.
Still just waiting to see, I think, for SwimTrek if FlyQuest is going to go for anything aggressive in that pistol round, especially after we saw how Breeze kind of opened up with that elbow push. It will be on the other side of the map, and I like how Thea has actually completely given up this A side. We're going to be able to see that fast blood kind of retake coming in from FlyQuest once that spike does get planted, something that was missing on Breeze, that is for certain. So a bit of a change in the game plan here for this squad as they try to retake from both lanes.
This is tough because you have to reach through out the top side of the ropes. Headhunter's going to land for 1. Arya gets another, but how about the response? 2 for 2.
There.
Smoke once more goes down. Post plant defense around the site, looking pretty comfortable, but Thea's able to find one unaware. So now numbers starting to come through for FlyQuest, but they don't know where Glow Stick is. Able to find the first. Nice shots out of the second. Can't quite get the third, but Evie's going to run out of time on this.
Be kidding me.
1 toggle. Yep, a little boop off of it if you're Bob. That will put the clock convincingly in SwimTrek's favor, and Bob will make sure of that by finding the pick anyways. Pistol win for SwimTrek.
Yeah, third one here for the side of SwimTrek. Every single pistol one thus far to really set them up for success in the beginning of each half that we're seeing. Got double outlaw actually coming in. We expected on the side of SwimTrek, I think, anticipating again some of that aggression to be coming through, but I do like this look a lot better from the side of FlyQuest at the very least. So a very nice pivot from the approach that we saw on Breeze from this team. It does get a lot closer in that round at the very least, coming down to a 1v1.
Was that good enough? Ooh, maybe. Sherrod tried to get aggressive with the outlaw, gets punished. Bob has one of their own. Maybe trying to step up. It looks like there is maybe a touch of juggling going on to keep that weapon safe. Maybe not. Yep. Okay. 2 outlaws still in play. And it's going to be a rotation back over towards B. Trademark in the way. Jazz is holding a corner towards Arcade. And the rest of the defensive FlyQuest will need to make a decision if they want to try to play around the back of this play or recut back through the defensive spawn.
Oh, for a second there, I thought Jazzy was going to go for the sewers push, but should be able to hear some of this utility that's getting thrown out. That will be the signal for FlyQuest to make the rotation over. Plant does go down here as well. I do like how FlyQuest are at the very least very keen on playing their lives in these situations instead of getting caught out on these hard anchors, ensuring that there is a bit more of an opportunity here to play with the team.
Well, the problem is you have so much post-plant deterrence here from Swim. Arya in particular playing just behind the arcade boxes. Will be revealed, but still a secret about what weapon. Wow, that's way more damage than you would have thought. Same there. Pop Corrupt follow up. Glow Stick also connects on the Jazz, and there is just nowhere to go. So Thea, last one left, is going to be stuck over towards Tree. The anti-eco is going to look pretty clean unless something here. Yeah, one more. Okay, not terrible. 1 outlaw, 1 bulldog will survive the round for SwimTrek, but still, flawless start.
I think FlyQuest, at the very least, they accomplished what they were looking for in that round, which was picking off a couple of those exit frags, trying to do a little bit of that economical damage to SwimTrek. Sure, it didn't pan out that, it didn't really end up mattering that much, to be honest, when it came down to Breeze, but a very different buy compared to that Breeze bonus round that we saw in that first half of the last map. Will be a lot lighter here. You do have Arya on a stinger heading into this one. Bob still has that outlaw that she was able to hold on to. 4-1 split classic here on the side of B coming out from SwimTrek. We got Melia on an island, but with a rendezvous out into Jenny, so should be safe if that first pick doesn't work out.
Yeah, should be. But only connects onto most of Sherrod, and the immediate follow-up from Ari is perfect. What a read on the snapback. So a bonus round for Swim Track will be supplanted and pushed into a plant. I meant to say supported, not supplanted. Trying to supplant them will be FlyQuest on the 4v5. Nightfall coming through. That'll hit most of this. Yeah, good for Arya for another. Arthea does get the response. Sherrod's still low, but can back away. Just play an easy angle. Fragment through, doesn't hit. Sherrod doing all the damage, finding all the eliminations. Bob now next one up. Connect on the Eevee through the smoke. Won't know it immediately, but Corrupt will have a very easy one in front of them, so that will push away Eevee, and that's another bonus coming through for Swim Trek. They have been perfect in the first 3 rounds of essentially every single half at this point.
It's so impressive how their bonus conversion looks here on the attacking side. I think that there was great space control there from Swim Trek. I want to say Swim Quest. These two names.
I thought you were about to say Swim Trunk.
But I think for the side of Swim Trek, you have that deep smoke that pressures Jenny so much. And then on top of that, Sherrod is also already peeking into Canteen. That really stalls things out when it comes down to the retake that FlyQuest were attempting to make. It's that aggression that pans out so nicely for Swim Trek, where they don't even give FlyQuest often a chance to breathe in those moments to get an opportunity to feel comfortable when they're trying to go in for those retake moments.
Wow. That's about all you could say to this point. Wow. Sheriff's back into hand. 1 rifle for Edith. This is almost the exact copy-paste of what we saw in the first 4 rounds for FlyQuest on Breeze. Boombot doesn't quite get around towards drop fully for Swim Trek, but still looking pretty comfortable to clear out the space, as it's really just Thea watching for a shoulder cross. Not gonna reveal too much. And ooh, nice shot from Thea. So give yourself some numbers if you're FlyQuest. Still have a Showstopper and a Cosmic Divide. Definitely tools that could be beneficial on this A site.
Spike planted.
It all comes down to being able to find a pick, though. First timing there for Bob, just leaning off the angle. Not gonna expect 3 players behind her.
And that's why. Jazz gets 1. That sets the post plant back over towards main. And again, with the Cosmic Divide, it's not really what you want. So Arya is going to call for some support. They're going to jump their way in. Shoulders seen initially on the Thea. Glowstick keeping the eyes up. Trying to get up and over. What a shot from Glowstick. Traded out. Arya pointing the top side of the site. Eventually will fall. Corrupt now 1v3. Able to find the first 2 and then the 3. Oh my goodness. Corrupt the 1v3 Red Bull clutch. Everything in front of him. The time was ticking. And you line them up, you knock them down for the 4th straight round.
Their impact has consistently just been insane in those moments. Sure, it might not have been the same crazy harbor tech that we got to see on Breeze, but being able to spray down all 3 players, peeking through a Cosmic Divide in that moment, really great timing there for Corrupt, not even allowing an ounce, again, of comfort to be found here on the side of FlyQuest while they're trying to flood onto site. Knew that they'd be racing to pick up some of those guns. Now, 4-0 here for Swim Trek. An aggressive start here from Bob.
Jazz able to find the first. This full of gun round. Nightfall coming through. Orbital strike over the top. Edith, nice job to get the first, but Arya responds. Has to wait for the persistent effects to fall. Fragment is well placed. But Sherrod gets bullied out, and that will mean that Artis will have nowhere to go. Okay, much better there for FlyQuest. Really good Nightfall coming through for Eevee. And that will mean FlyQuest are on the board. But finally, Swim Trek can get off their bonus hype and, pull out Nodin and Operator if they want to. And whatever else they so choose.
Yeah, the Nightfall may have been great there from Ev, but I think it really gets started with Jazzy being able to hold on to tower just a little longer for the rest of the team to make that rotation through, and especially Edith kind of threading that needle to be able to take that dice position and really break up that attack there from Swim Trek. All 5 players now will be leaning into the heavier stack of the A side, a deep smoke, but a good prowler to push. Yeah, off the angle, ensuring that Sherrod could get that line.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a stack up here for FlyQuest at A main. Aria on the corner. Mercy, we're sticking right through it. Here comes the battle. Trying to find the first, looking for more, able to find it. Good patience, but Eevee's taken down 3 before eventually being traded. So we get an even 2v2. No command. Of course, the operator currently in hand for Melia. Bob has a showstopper and is just trying to create space for the plant. And that might just do it right there. Low stick gonna go tall. It's been seen. Jazz looking for the spam. Showstopper. Melia waiting. Oh, what a null command! Perfectly timed. Pulls off the rocket launcher. Now it's glow stick by themselves, but that's all you need is glow stick. A 1v2 clutch for Swim Trek. Still up 4.
How do they keep doing it? Absolutely insane. I think the reaction from Jazzy was great with that null command, like you were saying, Shift. But these moments here from these Swim Trek players, all of them constantly being able to bring out that clutch gene is just crazy. And that really stifles, I think, the momentum that FlyQuest were finding in that round. It felt so winnable to them to try and get their second one on the board. But Swim Trek continue to push forward with this moment.
Let's play.
Unbelievable. That's it. One more of the belt kind of tightening right now into FlyQuest, feeling really choked off. Multiple 1v clutches so far in both maps. Not what you want. Tour de Force out. And it just continues to go from bad to worse. I mean, this is starting to turn into these first blood battles kind of being determined by just an aim diff.
I mean, 5v3 is already tough, but when your smoke so's down as well, no coverage should be provided here for the defenders.
Bring them down.
Yikes. Plant gonna come through? No, not quite. Bring the crawlers first. Fragment clears out some space at tower, but largely Swim Trek are fine. Now the commitment to the plant fast. Pardon me, flash lane to block off the line of sight. Nightfall to follow. Melia able to connect over the Tour de Force. 3v3. This Nightfall stalled on everything, and that allows Aria just to do whatever they want. So now it's a 3v2. It's just with the credit the way they are, like, and the time starting to tick. You have no information. Corrupt's able to see the barrel of the large French sniper rifle. And glow stick will combine with Aria for another winner. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really nice protocoling in the post plant there. You allow Corrupt to take that first engagement. The other two staying tucked, knowing that that operator in the hands of Melia had to be dealt with first with that tool de force popped. Overall, though, I also like honestly, the tap coming out from Glowstick there. They knew that it would kind of force out some of that utility early on from FlyQuest, trying to flood back through. They get rid of that KO molly out of the hands of Jazzy before it can, you know, apply any damage, try and deny that plant, make things a bit more uncomfortable. Very heads up plays here from Swim Trek, trying to get ahead of that utility usage that they're anticipating from FlyQuest. Now, first time out here to be called in the Fly camp. And granted, despite the 6-1 scoreline shift, you gotta say that this map has been a lot closer round for round than Breeze has been.
Yeah, I mean, it has been, but has it? Like, the end of the rounds have been a little bit tighter, but the scoreboard is still just, yeah. Ah, man, it's just, it does feel like there's just a little bit something different right now with Swim Trek. They are not missing, legitimately. I mean, everyone is popping off at different moments in time.
For sure.
I think the kind of impressive thing about it is, like, going to map 1 and even looking into map number 2 so far, like, you really haven't had to rely on Aria and Sherrod to do all of the work. It's been Bob. It's been Corrupt. Like, they've been there through and through. And that's so alleviating if you're playing one of the duelists or one of the 2 duelists that Swim Trek have brought to the field so far.
Yeah, the follow-ups have definitely been really great in that regard. I feel like they're necessarily going to commit to this push. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of that util dump. I think expecting that fast flood to come in on the rotation there from FlyQuest, considering that it is an eco round. They know that FlyQuest will be playing that death ball and Thea alone anchoring this A side.
Thea gets the information, is able to get away. And that's going to be enough now for Aria and the rest of the swim track to set themselves up. Prowler on the close corner. Did it see the stack behind the box? Doesn't make a difference. Crop's already got the angle over towards ropes. Glow stick follows.
No more trees.
Flash doesn't really do too much.
One enemy remaining.
And Swim Trek just win every single battle on the field. Ugh. Wow.
Yeah, there isn't really anything Edith can do here. Maybe try and get a pick or two, try to farm up into that showstopper. The stick is low just underneath them. Will be a good nade to push off the angle. But overall, done and dusted rounds here for the side of FlyQuest. Swim up 7-1. Also got the opportunity to try and cycle into some of these ultimates in the coming rounds. Even though, you know, those big ults, they're like 3-4 away. You think about how many ult orbs there are to work on the map. Swim Trek haven't really needed them either, to be honest, and they're just fragging out in general. But gotta keep our eyes out on Melia here. I think her and Ev have been definitely difference makers here for FlyQuest. They've had some of the most impact across these two maps thus far to be the ones to really make those hero plays here for FlyQuest to try and get around in their favor, especially with that operator in hand now locking down that B site.
Bring them down.
Prowler to feel things out. We'll not see Bob, who tries for the angle but can't connect. Paint shells just for a little bit more pressure. Meanwhile, the rest of the attack is starting to set up. Surely we don't peek that again, but yep, trying for it. Prowler. And that will work. Yeah, Edith, I don't think they expected there to be two players there, so Bob will fall. Dad's in a little bit of trouble, but is able to stay alive. Good help on the cross as Thea will push back the approach, and instead, maybe a crunch over to B as, well, Glowstick has got an opportunity to kind of create some space, but it's being watched and Melia connects. Good start here for Fly.
They gotta run over now. They saw all four of those players. A great fast lane to take the site.
There they are.
Problem is, there's still a lot of information here for the defenders. Aria gets one. Sherrod would have to hit.
30 seconds
That just
left.
has to happen at this point. Nightfall will come through. It will not hit Sherrod, though. Knife will detect the presence. That puts the ultimate of the Tour de Force away for a moment. Fragment also doing a little bit of damage. Femboy just going to go ahead and plant on the other side. Showstopper out, and that forces the peek from Sherrod. Not going to work. That will be a little bit more like it if you're FlyQuest. Only one will drop, but it'll be a 2-7 count here.
A lot more comfortable. I think the extremity control there for FlyQuest Red definitely made a difference on that A site, ensuring that they're pressuring those two lanes. They have the information, allowing Melia to be that hard B anchor alongside her trip. And being able to just really lock things down with that operator. Definitely a huge difference maker here on the side of FlyQuest Red, and really allowing them to stack a bit more heavily to play off of each other on A on those two extremities. Changing up the setup now, though. Shift. You have a bit of a pairing going alongside Melia. It will be Ev leaning in that direction. 3 players on the side of FlyQuest will look to contest into A main. A bit more passive look on Dish after some of that conditioning that was done.
I'm out of here.
Let's see what the move is going to be.
Well, little show of force. Pulled back over towards B. Melia, the one who's going to be watching from this position. It's the first. That's big. It's on to Aria in particular, which is huge. May not really slow down Swim all that much, but that fast lane being out, the relay bolt being out, gives a little bit more freedom for FlyQuest defense to contest. If they so choose. Instead, Glowstick gets the plant. And now you look to see, can Glowstick find another elimination to get the Nightfall? Problem is, you lose Bob on one side, leaving really just the defenders of this plant on site. Cosmic Divine comes through. Sherrod gonna step forward, finds one, snaps back over to safety. That is a massive pick. Plus the follow-up, Glowstick gets 2. And they know Thea's likely playing around the back through Arcade, and Sherrod is watching it. What a save from Swim Trek.
I mean, these chamber players absolutely cracked in those moments, just finding those perfect times to peak there for Sherrod. I think it's tough in this round now as well here beside of FlyQuest for the remainder of this half, honestly, because so much of that success that has come down to Melia having that operator in her hands, right? Knowing that swim track, they really only have glow stick able to sniff out the location of that op. They're not playing a comp that has any flashes to flash Melia off that line, and it's tough that it wasn't able to get up a bit earlier on into this half, but an aggro fight here to be punished.
I mean, this is just frustration from FlyQuest trying to force something. We are going to get a 9th round here by the look of it for swim track. Unless Thea could do something unbelievable. Melia's just got the headhunter, so not what you like. Oh, and Corrupt, do you get a read on this, brother? Oh, Prowler, fiddle up, no. And everyone will fall back. Or will they? Arya says, I want blood. I want blood. Oh, okay. Thea's the one to get...
Face your fear!
Nightfall, just because. Why not? Not going to be able to afford anything in the next round or FlyQuest, so... Just stop Thea from doing this, and finally the picks come through. It's 9-2.
Yeah, I think investment of that Nightfall is just the understanding that it's the opportunity to break up that economy on the side of FlyQuest, guarantee that even in a 2v3 there wasn't going to be that potential to clutch things up and put the final nail in the coffin. Swim Trek, you have the overdrive available. You also have one away from that orbital strike here for Corrupt. Jazzy, though, has been a difference maker when it comes down to that null command timing here. Could be able to shut things down, but still, Swim Trek, they find themselves continuously firmly in the driver's seat.
Unbelievable. Okay. Well, we find ourselves in must-win territory again early into this game for FlyQuest, and they're on a forced purchase that includes 2 Bulldogs, a Vandal, and a Spectre. Not what you want to hear. So Swim Trek, gonna just kind of wait things out, see if they can catch maybe a little bit of punish or maybe information. Yeah, that's a very early Prowler, so now you know that someone's close. Prowler to follow up. There's your info. Nice shot. Well, here comes the littering of utility. Thea with a little shoulder can go nowhere. Stim Beacon drops. EV looking for timing, but it's just you're in the Bermuda Triangle of Swim Trek players. Can't find anything. And this will be 10-2. Unless Melia and Jazzy can do something this time.
That's a crazy orbital strike to push Jazzy off the angle. Like,
Last player standing.
Well, I'm not really too sure what to say. This has been absolute domination in every sense of the word.
yeah, it's kind of wild.
I did not expect this at all, Ash.
Honestly, I did hope that things were going to be a little bit closer, but to be honest, I feel like I definitely had Swim Track in the bag for this. This is no disrespect to the side of FlyQuest, but the flexibility that this team has, especially running a lot of those double duelist compositions for the side of Swim Track Blue, I think it just works a lot better in the current meta, and having this very brawly style plays well in an ante almost up against a team like FlyQuest, who prefer that kind of slower, more controlled type of play that allows Edith to heat up a bit more into these rounds. But the way that Swim Trek take the pacing and the tempo doesn't really allow that play style to work well here for FlyQuest, because they don't give them the opportunity to kind of find their footing.
Need that back.
I mean, this has just been a full-on masterclass from Swim Trek. So once more, we find ourselves at a FlyQuest 10-2 deficit. Has to win the pistol. Even that's not going to feel great. This first from Melia. Corrupt trying to stand underneath the drop. I don't think initially anyone saw them there, but Edith comes back to play. Arya for a couple. Arya for 3. Surely not. So it's down to Bob 1v2. Edith is lower than half HP. Evie will plant.
Spike planted.
How does Bob want to play this? Knows that Evie's back there. Grenade will happen first. Damage. Yeah, lots of it. Makes this very winnable with the classic. Nah, Evie just a wide peek, finds the headshot, and FlyQuest take the pistol, much needed.
Nice timing on the swing there from Ev. It's such a tight round. FlyQuest, though, much needed pistol round like you were talking about to be picked up, trying to set themselves up for some sort of clawback here into the second half. Ev has been consistent across Breeze and Fracture. I think having some definitely heroic moments of impact for this squad to try to keep them in the game. Swim Trek, for them, I feel like you mostly want to see as much, like, how much damage you can do, honestly, up against the anti-eco. Try to get as many of those weapons in hand. It's okay if this round is a bit of a throwaway, but you want to make it hurt here for FlyQuest considering how big your lead is.
100%. And again, you have to start stockpiling economy to give yourself some survivability to make this comeback a real thing. But definitely dug themselves a bit of a hole. No. Don't want to make any mistakes here.
Waiting to see if Swim Trek's gonna go for any sort of aggression. They won't give anything away to FlyQuest, though. Instead, Fly have been focused a little bit on that orb shopping here, trying to get that Nightfall and the Showstopper online into the following rounds. Playing a little bit more for the future here, since they do have that time. Everyone now looking to regroup outside of B. Will be a retake situation here for Swim Trek. Arya is going to try to hold on to tower, though, considering that Bucky is in their hands.
Yep.
30 seconds
Problem
left.
is, no one's coming that way. So that Bucky will be a little bit pressured to make a play. Spike plant right behind default boxes.
Bring them down.
Prowler to scout things out. And Arya, well, thinking about it, just throwing his shoulder. Knows that Fade is nearby. And for Swim Trek, which is classics, and one sheriff for Bob, they're going to need to go and go quickly. Sherrod gives away their position. Easy hit there for Melia. Bob, paint shells over the top. Do you expect Edith to be playing this close to Jens, though? Likely not, and no. Glowstick does get one. Edith trying to set up, yeah, a really nice little gunfight there, but Arya connects. Classic up top through tower, but this is running out of time. First outlaw shot misses. Arya will get a weapon, try to make this punishing, but Melia connects. And that helps things get a little bit heated up now for Melia. Glowstick will drop to the spike. We'll have a 10-4 count. Good anti-eco bonus on the way.
Yeah, especially with the fact that they really tried to cycle up into Edith's ultimate in that last round. Now just went away from that Showstopper, looking to find a round 3 conversion in the second half to try to steal away that bonus. Very similar to what we had seen from Swim Trek on Breeze and on Fracture on their attacking sides as well. And they really need to, right? You want to find those rounds as early as possible, not allow Swim Trek to continue to grow this gap between them, continue to grow their advantage. With rifles now in hand, you see a bit more of an aggressive approach here for Swim Trek as they go for that north side crunch.
Go get him.
Knife doesn't reveal anything for FlyQuest on the B site. So now you got to worry about clearing tower, clearing canteen. If this is going to end up in a hit, which by the look of it, very well may. Oh, Corrupt's position could be huge. Bob going to get the information off that Prowler. Tunnel is a problem point. Glowstick going to just inch a little bit closer towards topside tower through rope. And Bob is feeling antsy. Well, so we'll check and clear. That's big. So now the focus of the defense can go back over towards main.
And that rotation comes through too. Swim Trek, they were able to really focus on that sewers push thanks to Arya pushing all the way out from Dish. But with the lack of presence that Swim Trek are seeing, they have an inkling that it is going to be a rotation over to that A side of the map. Thea, though, still waiting outside of B. And look at the positioning that you're seeing from Bob walking out of sewers.
Well, Melia will get one. That has Bob pushed back over. Thea not seen. Now the information comes back out, and the defense is going to try to make sure that things stay safe. You lose that position at A main. Aria sees everything you need to, though. Relay bolt out. 20 seconds to clock. This is a lot of time off the clock, and you still have Corrupt on the way over. Showstopper comes on into the play.
What?
Aria able to dodge it, finding one. Are you kidding me? Follow-up there is good. Leaving it just down to Bob. 1v2 situation. Spike going to be pressured here with not a lot of time on the clock to try to get planted. And Thea's going to have the read on where... Bob's going to have the read on where Thea had planted at. Nova Pulse hits. No peek, though. 4 shots for Bob. First 2 come through. Now you have to reload. You just can't win a 1v2 with 1 shot in the bullet. Yep. So it looks like May just play to exit. Try to get a couple of picks. Pops the door for a moment with the pistol drop, but this is about trying to punish FlyQuest, who, well, will lose a couple of weapons. And I'm sure Bob is thinking, now I wish kind of went for this a little bit more.
At the end of the day, it was really just trying to get as many of those guns out of their hands as possible, make it worthwhile here for Bob, and get a couple of those orb points for her as well. But a much-needed bonus round for FlyQuest to come away with there. It's kind of crazy how Aria honestly was able to live bottom side of A, just getting in front of that showstopper as Edith was throwing it down, but really cool interactions, I think, on the macro from both of these teams, kind of reading into the space that they didn't have, the space that could be taken by Swim Trek, and a good rotation timing, that is for certain on that A side.
Yeah. Okay. Now starting to cook a little bit with that bonus win. FlyQuest is going to have a comfortable setup in the arsenal. Moving in around 16. Overdrive immediately popped for Aria. Looking to take away a ton of space. That clears the entire north side of the map. So quick rotation back over towards the front. Prowler will clear out front side of B. And the defense will rotate through spawn with a good prediction that this is going to be an A hit.
Ooh, that's like 2 to 3 players spotted there by Edith. Not even going to bother. Still leaving 1 player in Sands, though. Trying to play contact with Ev.
Now low. Pulls the attention. And the help is perfect. Bob will find 1, but nothing more. Last one left is glow stick. Long range shots, the classic will land for another elimination, forcing a rebuy. But largely speaking, not much harm done there for FlyQuest. Now just down 4. And if you lose this next round, if you're Swim Trek, all of a sudden we've got ourselves a game.
Yeah, this comeback looking very doable here. Melia has been looking great as well. I think a big proponent of success here for the side of FlyQuest. We do have Bob 1 away from that showstopper. It is FlyQuest on the attacking side. They definitely have the advantage when it comes down to that orb collection. Ev just a singular orb from getting that Nightfall online, which could definitely be a huge piece of the puzzle here for FlyQuest in this attacking round. I like the deep smoke to put that additional pressure on B main coming out from Swim Trek. Thea needs to stay alive here, taking a risk going into the smoke.
Good information, though, from FlyQuest that there is a little bit of towards A main, but Bob gets the read right in front of Reed. And the follow-up. Clean shots on the Jazz. And all of a sudden, FlyQuest are, I mean, they're bottlenecked. They've got really nowhere to go. Here comes the utility up and over. Odin in the corner going to get pushed on by Edith, but the trade is there. Arya still playing bottom side of the site. Sees 1, but that's Melia with the tour de force. Corrupt doesn't want to get too greedy with this. Wait for help. 3v2.
It has to be safe here for Ev. A Prowler to work with and Showstopper out.
Ev's able to get away from that. Showstopper doesn't really do too much. Paint shells to follow. That's really well placed. Good damage going to come through, but Melia connects. Nightfall going to be spent, and Melia's not missing. It's just down to 1, and Melia will find all 4. Huge 2v3 for FlyQuest, now down 3.
Much needed here from Melia. Again, so consistent when it comes down to those multi-frags, especially when that operator is in her hands. Now, comfortable buying into that Outlaw, understanding that Swim Trek are going to be on those light shields, if any shields at all, for the majority of that team. Timeout now to be called here from Swim Trek Blue. Definitely a round, I think, where, you know, they wanted to come away with the win, stop the bleeding, as it has been 5 rounds in a row there from FlyQuest since we swapped sides. And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, they were like 3v2. They were waiting for that rotation to come in, but
My ult's ready.
man, definitely tough. Bob put in a lot of work with those first 2 picks outside of the main. They had the read as well, but Elliot just doing such a good job of isolating those ones.
The strength, the tour de force. Makes life easy when you hit the first one, especially when everyone's stacked up hitting it from the same direction. All right, what next? Timeout for Swim Trek. Gonna have to discuss what they want to do in terms of purchase, largely thanks to the fact that they're all down to right around 3K credits. Bank accounts are starting to stack up for FlyQuest. A couple of key ultimates also potentially on the way. Cosmic Divide 1 off, Showstopper 2 off. Jazz is starting to get closer and closer towards a null command.
There.
And on the flip side, Glowstick is 2 away from another Nightfall after their pop-off, and Orbital Strike is ready for Corrupt for Swim Trek. So, things to discuss pending how this opening battle decides to go towards A. And Swim Trek will clear. It's a chance at 1. Tag comes through for both players, though. Wow, both chambers very happy to try to take this battle, but Jazz will eventually pop up, find the pick. Corrupt thinking about taking an angle, try to find a peek, but doesn't connect. And now we've got the quick flank on the way. It'll be a 3v1 onto Thea. Well, Thea's good for the opener. You know Moore's nearby. Good reveal. Should be a follow-up, but Bob is able to connect. Plus damage on the Jazzykins. Now Corrupt is in a position to potentially try to peek over through Canteen. This is the window onto Jazz. Follow-up. Gonna get some damage in. And eventually will be taken care of. Good isolation, and Swim Trek are down and out right now.
Yeah, they've got, I think, 2 Phantoms in their pockets right now, trying to just keep FlyQuest contained.
Last player standing.
Glowstick really only going to be able to get 2. 1v2 here for Bob. Time ticking down. She's really just trying to get some of the weapons out of their hands. Granted, the economic situation on the side of FlyQuest still pretty solid regardless, so it'll just be the Phantom carried over into the next round. And now that weapons back into play here, Shift, I want to see kind of more of that aggression from Swim Trek. I know we have seen Extremity control, them taking that A main space, Bob going on a solo adventure, B main that one round there as well. I want to see something a little bit more measured though. Maybe a crunch coming through. It feels like FlyQuest are very comfortable with how they've been maneuvering around the map with those rotations. More than happy to poke on one side, revisit the other, re-clear some of those spaces. And Swim Trek, where they have really shown is whenever they're taking really the brawl to FlyQuest.
Well, for now, FlyQuest is going to get a full stack walk down at B, at least initially. Defense allowing this to happen. Sherrod has got the op-out watching through Arcade, can reset back over if they so choose. And yeah, we'll just watch the cross for a moment. Corrupt is nearby. And we're still looking for first contact.
Giving up the angle. Trying to get that information on Arcade. To the side of Swim Trek. Cosmic Divide will be up, and now Sherrod is totally on an island. Not even.
Showstopper right into the face of Sherrod. Trade for Arias there, but it's a 2-for-1 overall. Nightfall defensively pushing this back. 45 seconds on the clock, and FlyQuest have to make a decision if they're going to commit back to a tree or rewrap this all the way to A.
Very slow work back towards the A side, though.
30 seconds
Granted, 3v4, it's only Bob. She's been clean for those multi-kills. Taking the Sands control, trying to take a time to the door.
left.
It's the first but not the second. But the orbital strike can be placed here right at the front door, and that could possibly not just find eliminations, but also stall out the spike, but just able to sneak by that is out. Corrupt doesn't like the look of it. Able to see one on the exit. Melia revealed, trying to teleport back to safety, and will. So now you know that there's two players over toward main. They know they're out to the corner, but they lost track of her. So now all of a sudden it's just down to Glowstick. Not able to find the first contact. Then how about FlyQuest? Alive and well, never a doubt. Down one.
Attacking side looking so comfortable here for FlyQuest. It's been 7 rounds in a row. FlyQuest red. I think part of what Swim Trek Blue have also been maybe struggling with a little bit as well is it's mostly like a 2v4, 2v5 in a lot of these situations when you're seeing the fights, because while we were talking about Thea being on that Astra, having a bit more of a global presence, allowing her to, you know, anchor one of those sites a bit more on defense, the sacrifice with the Brimstone, again, is you always have a player in spawn.
Well, on early for a glow stick, deleted. Boombot shown. Brawler being considered.
Bring them down.
There's a lot of early information being given away. Now, granted, again, we are on a limited purchase here for Swim Trek, but they've shown
They found my trap.
some resilience towards ramp. Ooh, and a big shot there for Sherrod on the lurk. Earns the tour de force. So now FlyQuest have a new set of issues to deal with.
Yeah, we've seen how insane Sherrod is on that ultimate there for the chamber as well. Definitely could be a massive difference maker here for Swim Trek to try and find their first defensive round.
Well, the crash
Face your
through arcade
fear!
will be allowed to happen. Nightfall's gonna find nothing. Flash also comes up just to clear the space. And Jazz will plant. 5. Oh, but Bob able to connect with the one Vandal, and then the tour de force makes good. Via damage. Sherrod able to come back through for more, and it's gonna be 4 for Sherrod, a thrifty in the mix. And the first defensive round for Swim takes us to 11-9, and a huge boon to FlyQuest comeback efforts right there.
Absolutely. One of the first rounds, too, where we saw more proactive space taking from Swim Trek Blue. Like, it wasn't just, okay, we'll take control of one of these mains, we won't really find any more information. They actually push under sewers, get the information on the other side of B, and it makes it that much more feasible for them to get a read on what FlyQuest Red were doing. I think that previously, when they were going for that map control, it was just a little bit too passive for my liking. I really like this adjustment coming out from Swim Trek Blue, forcing now a timeout here from FlyQuest. They know that they want to be able to shut down any sort of momentum that Swim Trek can build off of a thrifty round like that. You've got Operator in the hands of Melia into this. They've been taking it a lot slower with that pacing. I do wonder if there might be a tempo change coming in for FlyQuest to try and catch Swim Trek Blue off guard. We'll have to see how things go.
You got to keep in mind that even though the banks were pretty healthy for FlyQuest, all of a sudden, one round goes awry, and you've got 3 players under 400 credits. Largely thanks to how expensive some of the purchases and utility have to be. So, Swim Trek have carved win condition into this map. This comes down to, can you continue to find success just off of what largely was a Sherrod hero round. Op in the mix for both sides. That could be key.
Trading Prowlers on the other side of the map. Sherrod posted on a deep line here for Arcade. Edith waiting to see if anybody will overextend. Let's get revealed.
Reveal. Oh, but they don't know that Ari is there. Oh, no. It's like you get the reveal, you think you've got Sherrod down and out, but instead it's Arya on the close corner at Arcade. Then the follow-up does hit. Swim Trek into the 5 versus 3. Spike down is the biggest issue, though, right now if you're FlyQuest trying to pull this back, because Melia is going to have to be the one to collect it with an operator.
I like how disciplined Swim Trek are taking this as well. Like, they had eyes on the spike. They're more than happy to mostly give it up.
Here.
Sure, you have vision on it
Teleport's
still, but
ready.
they're not looking to overextend, ensuring that they can play their contact, FlyQuest, and regroup through sewers.
Arya gets one for being traded. Thea trying to make a hero play. Not going to
30
work out.
seconds
Just down to Melia. 1 versus 4. Going to be pressured. Headhunter hits for the first, but not the second. Swim Trek immediately onto match and series point.
Match point.
Not good news for FlyQuest, and the credits are not great either. Oh, mercy.
Yeah.
How quickly it changes.
Those last few rounds, even the ones that FlyQuest were winning, felt like Swim Trek, again, they did such a good job of playing for that condition of trying to take as many weapons out of their hands, force those repurchases, knowing that they would be able to kind of snowball eventually into some sort of equal footing when it came down to that economy now finally having that advantage. Double op here for the defenders.
First shot hits for Bob. Showstopper, no. But glow stick in position to still contest, still battle. Paint shells on the way over. Lots of damage confirmed off of that. Bob also taking some significant damage. We'll hit one before dropping. So we'll keep the numbers in favor of Swim Trek defense. Look at the quick route to the backside of A-Main. They could pinch this up. May not even be needed. Corrupt just windshield wipering that one left to right. Melia, last one left. Has to be Melia. 1 versus 4, down to 1 versus 2 now. Sherrod in the corner will hit the shot, and FlyQuest will fall in a quick 0-2 fashion. Swim Trek cruise their way into the grand finals.